Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're going for a fun one today. We're going to try and get one team that can beat all content, all Dungeon 20s. And I'm also going to try and do it without any jewelry on any of my champions. It's actually incredibly difficult to think of one team that can breeze their way through all of the content, especially when we're not going to use any legendaries. Okay, and the reason why it's difficult is because you need a win condition for Spider, a win condition for Fire Knight, and then you need a team that can hold their own against Dragon and Ice Golem. So generally, it's really difficult to get 5 champions that synergize in the right way. And this is about team synergy more than individual champion power. So first one on the list, I'm going to bring in Mordecai just because he's new. I like him. I think he can bring me my win condition for Spider. And I built one from the fusion that we just had. So why not? I've got him in 4 pieces of perception gear to get my accuracy up. And I've got him in 2 pieces of speed. So I want him running pretty quick. He gives me HP burn for Spider, which is huge. It means that we're going to have a win condition to beat this probably the hardest dungeon out there. It gives me some turn meter boost and some turn meter decrease for the enemy. And then an A1, which is just a chance to drop a bit of turn meter as well. It also gives me an option of an accuracy aura, which can be big when we're trying to build out these different teams. So second on the list is going to be Aox. Aox, again, I've got 1 set of perception, got random other gear. I've tried to give him a bit of resistance in case he needs to become a spider tank for some time. I've got his speed up to a decent level. So he's going to bring me an AoE decrease attack. Means that against someone like a Ice Golem, we can reduce the damage coming into us. Same with decreased crit rate. He also brings me a bit of a heal to keep my team going. And a little bit of poison for Dragon. So he's actually helping me out in a number of different ways. Each of these champions has to help me in a number of ways. We're then going to be bringing in Vodoff. Vodoff, I recently did a video on him. Super cool champ. Loads of healing, passive healing. It's got some provokes and stuff like that to help me deal with enemy waves. And I put him in a shield set so that we've just got that kind of initial burst of protection when the damage is coming in. Next one up is going to be Allure. So now Allure pretty much gives me a chance against Fire Knight. And Fire Knight's the one I'm most scared of. So she has got this A1 that drops turn meter. She's super cool for it. She's also going to give me a weak source decreased defense. So I don't have a decreased defense in this lineup. And that might be one of the things that hurts me most, to be honest. Maybe that's a mistake. I might be better even having War Maiden in instead of one of the other 3 that I've already called out. The last one on the list, so it's going to be Apothecary. He's going to be my legs. He's going to be my speed, a bit of healing as well. And yeah, that's pretty much all he's there for, just to try and keep the team running quickly. He does give me extra hits against Fire Knight as well, so you know, on a Fire Knight run, that's going to be helpful. This was one of the teams I was playing around with earlier, so we're going to switch this up. 1, 2, 3. Aox 4. So we've got all battles aura there from Mordecai, and then Apothecary 5. So there's a number of things you can do, guys. Look, people saying, well, what if I don't have those 5 champions? Of course. There's a number of champions that do all of these different roles. You know, if you're struggling for decreased attack, in fact, there's better ones. Like Stag Knight would just be straight up better for the decreased attack and defense together, which again, and would bring me a decreased speed A1. So there's a load that he would do. There's a ton of epics, actually, that can just kind of do different jobs that these are doing. But you'll see the AoE provoke from Vodoff just gives me a load of control. The decreased attack and decreased crit rate from Aox just means that we're taking less damage. The weak source decreased defense means at least we are hitting a little bit harder. And then we've got passive heals coming in from Vodoff. We've got a heal coming in from Aox. And then we've got a big boy heal coming in from Apothecary here and there. We get a bit of damage out from the HP burn. And we've got leech in this comp as well. So we've got even more healing. Really, Allure is kind of like my squishy champion that's most vulnerable. So I don't really want to take in a ton of damage. And we do want to keep ourselves pretty well topped up. So wave 1 is just... So wave 2, what do we need here? We really need some sort of control to get out there nice and early. So a provoke, there, bam. Provoke the 2 front boys. They're the ones that are going to cause us the most trouble. So now that's happened, you know, Vodov's so strong for that. It now means that we're pretty much plain sailing through to the boss fight, because we should get enough damage out here with HP burns and the kind of little tickles we're doing throughout this team. Don't forget, there's nobody in this team right now that really does any damage. I also didn't show you up front, but I don't have any masteries on Mordecai. I don't have any masteries on my Aox, so I'm relying on really damage to come from just plain up hits, a little bit of damage to come from Allure. In fact, her main mastery is accuracy anyway, so she's not bringing any damage with that. So it's really a very slow comp, but who cares about speed if you can beat all of the dungeons just with one team? Let's get ourselves onto the boss. All right, so we are 3 minutes 30 in. We're onto the boss. We're getting stuff like HP burns out. That just means we're going to do a bit of natural damage onto the boss here. We'll speed up the fight a bit because it will be a slow fight. I don't have any block revives. We got the decreased attack and decreased crit rate out. That's actually huge against Ice Golem. That, for me, kind of seals the deal of will we do it or not. You know, with the big hits that this Ice Golem can do, you really need that decreased attack on to make sure that you've got survivability, especially if you've got decreased defense on you. So, you know, normally, when I've done this type of video before, I've had a Doom Priest in, cleansing all of this stuff off me, which makes it super easy. But I appreciate not everyone's got that champion, so we're just going with a completely different comp this time. You can see it's kind of slow and steady. I'm going to let it play through, and then we'll get ourselves... I think we're kind of safe, really, with this dungeon. This is probably the easy one out of the lot. Okay, so it feels like we're pretty much going to nail this one. It's slow. It's slow. These runs are not going to be quick. I do not have a damage dealer amongst these guys. If I was looking at who would I swap out here for this particular team if I wasn't doing one team to beat them all, really, Allure's not bringing a lot. I'd much rather bring someone who's got a proper decreased defense instead of Allure. And I probably would swap out Mordecai for someone who's got a block revive. Someone like a Phoenix would be better in here, just to try and block revive the ads. But one down, one team. Can they beat them all? Let's go for Spider's Den next. So Spider, the infamous, disgusting dungeon. What are we doing here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Who am I missing? My Allure. Okay, so we've got a defense aura on Apothecary. One of these two is going to be my tank. I've set it up actually on purpose. The Aox is my tank. Low HP, higher defense, high resistance. But Vodov will also provoke a ton. So when you're building a Spider team, you do have to consider what's my win condition, how am I going to tank the damage, and how do I keep the turn meter down. So with this setup, the HP burn from Mordecai is huge. He's negative affinity, but he's given us a massive kind of damage output. We've got a bit of turn meter control from Allure. We've got a bit of turn meter control from Mordecai. And we've got a decreased attack on all enemies to reduce the damage coming at us. We've got the opportunity here for multiple tanks, which is always helpful. Spreading the damage in Spider is really helpful. And then we've got a few people that do healing. So this is literally just can we out-heal the out-heal the damage whilst this burn is killing stuff. And you can see we're already half health to Spider here. And really, we're not running that high of stats. The stats are reasonable, but they're not that high. But the HP burn is just so strong. It's why I did a video saying, 99% of people need Mordecai, because 99% of people, at least that speak to me, are like, I need help with Spider. And Mordecai is insane for this fight. We've seen here, we've done half health. We're not really in a whole lot of trouble, considering, we're 1 minute 20 odd into the fight. The funny thing with Spider is, it's the hardest dungeon to beat, and it then becomes the easiest dungeon to farm quickly. But we're keeping turn meter at a reasonable level. We do need to get an HP burnout again. I think it must be his next turn. And once the HP burn goes out again, we're going to start seeing nice chunks of damage going into the Spider. See the way we're spreading the tanking between my Aox and my Vodoff. Really useful to spread damage that way. And then the burns are back out. So now the burns should start doing some work. Vodoff's in a bit of trouble here. I do need a heal. There it is. Thank you, Apothecary. Mr. Clutch. And I think this one's pretty comfortably job done. In terms of who would I sub out here if I wasn't doing one team to beat them all? Honestly, Allure is not doing too much for us here. Allure, I would definitely sub out for an Armiger or a Cold Heart or someone like that. That just gives us a bit more. But I kind of like the rest of the comp. I think it's decent. 2 minutes 24. We'll take it. 8 million damage from Mordecai. That's how he's got this spot in the team for this one team to beat them all. Very, very, just insane Spider champion. Okay, 2 down. Let's go on to Dragons. Dragon. Let's get these boys back in. So I think we're going to take the defense aura for this one. And away we go. This one is probably my weakest team. I haven't really got anyone specifically in here to beat Dragon, mainly because Dragon's the easiest fight. But we do have a little bit of poison from Aox. One of the reasons why I wanted Aox in the team is he does give me some poison for the Dragon part of the fight. Poison is the best damage dealer to Dragon. Honestly, we've got people like Allure. They're not doing a ton here. This one's just going to be, can we do the damage over time? Can I stop myself getting one shot from these waves? Which is more about, is there any sort of control in this team? Is there enough healing in the team? And, things like the provoke from my Vodoff. I guess Vodoff's going to be the target here anyway because he's negative affinity, but him tanking the damage instead of my squishier champions is really helpful here. And obviously I've got, even though Vodoff's taking a lot of damage, he heals some of it back anyway. And I've got a heal from Apothecary, and I've got a heal from my Aox. So to get through the waves, I think I'm tanky enough. I've got plenty of HP on my Aox, my Vodoff. So I think I just about get through. Let's play it through. Let's get onto the actual dragon. Right, so we're on to the main dragon part now. You cannot turn me to control the dragon. So, honestly, Allure is kind of pointless here. Allure's in this team for finite, trust me. That's why she's here. But because we're doing one team to beat them all, she's got to come in here as well. She will bring a decreased defense for me. It's a weak source one. I don't think she's going to try and use it because the AI basically looks at turn meter and says, if it's above a third, I want to use my turn meter control ability. That's her A1. Now, that doesn't help us here. Allure, it doesn't help us. Right, we've got our weak source decreased defense. Good job. It's on for one turn. This is more about, can I get poisons out from Aox? Can we out-heal the damage that's coming at us? Because we really don't have a comp here that works for Dragon at all. But when you have to invest so much in a champion pool to beat these dungeons, I figured rather than subbing other people in, let's just try and keep the same team running right the way through. So this is going to be tricky. HP burn's going to help us a bit. That's a bit of damage going out. And obviously, Aox landing those poisons is massive. So we've got a couple of poisons on. It's probably not enough. We're probably going to take another stun here. Unless we get maybe a few more out. The decreased attack's going to help us. The leech ability helps us kind of stay topped up. But here comes another mass stun. And it's really, can we out-heal the damage? So in terms of subs here, like if I could just sub people out, I would absolutely sub out Allure for someone else who's got a big boy decreased defense that's going to land. And I probably would just sub out Mordecai here as well for someone else who's going to do more poison damage and probably just hit harder. So we do want that decreased attack back on. Don't know if we're going to get it in time for our hits. But I think we're good. So again, slow and steady. Who cares if it's slow as long as you can do it? What you would have noticed in the waves there is I don't do any damage, okay? And the amount of times I say to people, if you're struggling with content, chances are you've got too many damage dealers in and not enough support champions in. I mean, this is pretty much a cast of support. It's support all the way, but the support champions have got utility that are landing debuffs that are helping us win the fights. So that's how we're winning here, not through, mass hits. We've got no one who's hitting at all. We're winning through support characters keeping their team alive. So this is going to be it, guys. 3 down, 1 to go. Juicy little ancient shard. We'll take it. Aox doing most of the damage. That's because he was the poisoner. Yeah, as we were saying. So the last one then, the hardest one, I'd say, for this type of content, because the finite is just a bit of a beast. Getting enough hits off. I got no heal reduction. So I have to rely on my Allure to do a lot of work here. Have to. I need my Apothecary in this setup to have lower HP pool than my Allure. I don't know if I've got that set right, actually, have I? No. That's going to be a problem here. That's going to be a problem. I don't want Allure taking the damage. We'll see if this works. I might have to switch a piece of gear out on Apothecary to switch the focus of damage into Allure here. Might have been a bit of an oversight. But we do have Provokes from Vodoff, so Vodoff's going to be tanking up a lot of damage for us instead of Allure. It might be alright. We've got plenty of healing going on. I just know that if Allure starts taking a load of hits, she's dead. She's too squishy. She's very hard. If you think about the amount of stats you need to build on Allure, crit rate, accuracy, HP, speed, it becomes very difficult when we're using no jewelry at all to make all of that work. But so far, the control's been pretty good. We've got Provokes. We've got the days that goes on here and there. We've got turn meter control going on as well. So we'll see. I'm just worried. She hasn't taken a single hit yet. When she does, she might just fall literally flat down. Anyway, I'm going to let's play through. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, let's see if we can actually contest with the boss with the amount of speeds that we've got here. Right, getting on towards the boss. This has gone better than I thought. So far, honestly, like we've got such a good team synergy here in terms of control and healing and debuffs that these don't stand a chance. They really don't stand a chance. Obviously, if you've got people like Silver the Drake walks into this team because she brings more control, you know, and probably walks into every team. I just wanted to do it without legendaries. But yeah, absolutely superb. The provokes, the healing, the decreased attack. Yeah, really, really liking this team. So the biggest test, I think, of the video so far is going to be, can we get through the shield of the finite and can we keep it down? So how do we get through the shield? We've got triple hit with Vodoff. We've got a triple hit with Apothecary. And we've got a triple hit with Allure. We've got turn meter control with Allure and Mordecai. This is going to be tough. We don't have a heal reduction. So if we're not successfully breaking this shield and keeping it off, we've actually got basically no chance. Shield is down. Can we get it moving? Yes. Now we've got to keep it down. There's a decreased turn meter there from Aox as well. And a decreased attack, which is going to help us in case we don't keep the turn meter down. But so far, so good. This looks solid. Allure can weak hit. If she weak hits multiple times, which is I've seen done loads of times, then we will not keep that turn meter down. But all the time the turn meter climbs above a third, she's going to A1. And she's going to pop that turn meter back down to 0 or near enough. I feel like we've got this, guys. I feel like we're in a pretty strong position here to have got this. So, no jewelry. 2 champions, no masteries at all. 1 team slaying all of the level 20 dungeons. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. And as I say, you can absolutely change up different champions here. I just thought it'd be cool to show some of the new ones off. I did a video like this before where I used only free to get champions. I'll link that at the end. But I must admit, in that video, I started off with no jewelry. I couldn't do it. I had to put jewelry on. I was getting stuck on the spider. So this is a kind of another feat, really, to be able to do it. No jewelry at all. Totally countered and some my Great Hall. One of the reasons for that is because perception gear is so good. Okay? You saw a few of my champions here have got at least 1 set perception on if they need to land abilities. Perception gear is so good. And it's really available from like very early game. So do not sleep on it. It's so strong. Plus 40 accuracy, plus some speed. It's probably the best early to mid-game set in the game for players. Even at end game, it's extremely desirable. Okay, it's a fantastic set. So do not sleep on perception gear. It is one of the main reasons that we're doing this today. It's one of the main reasons I'm able to do this without wearing jewelry. But this looks strong. I'm going to let us play through for the final kind of push and see how we get on. Well, we actually saw at the end there a couple of rounds of weak hits. Brought that shield back up. I got a bit worried for a second. But, guys, there you go. 1 team to beat all the dungeons. Epics or less. No jewelry on the champions. Obviously, there's plenty that sub in for this type of stuff, but there you go. Leave a comment below what you think. What else would you like to see in this type of content? I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.